Same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been spliced. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Before each night is done, their plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. They'll take over the world. They're Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. Their twilight campaign is easy to explain. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Starve!
I love that theme song.
I figured I'd put that in there to liven the mood. Hi, is everybody doing? This is Terry and Irene with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. How you guys doing this Friday afternoon? It's 120 degrees here in Central Texas, and it's scheduled to be 130. So everybody to stay in. But how's everybody doing?
Hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
hot, wet, and damp.
Yeah, man. Guys. All right, here, man. All right. Well, you know what, guys? Mr. Ed would not be able to make it today, but that doesn't leave me. I still got somebody to pick on for the night, man. So we got Mr. Jones here today, and we're gonna have fun with him, and we're gonna pick his brains, and we're gonna see what this guy's talking about. So, hey, welcome to the show, Mr. Jones. How you doing today, sir?
I am doing just fine. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I am doing great. Have not had dinner yet, but I'm trying to figure out what I want to eat.
That makes two of us. I haven't had dinner yet either. So
I'm trying to figure out. What are you suggesting?
it's a Friday. I don't know, tacos maybe. I don't know.
Man, I'm thinking about a big, juicy, well done steak with a baked potato.
Damn. See, now I'm gonna be thinking about that the whole time. If I start drooling during the show, you'll know why. Because I'm thinking about a big juicy steak.
And well done.
Yeah.
No, medium rare.
See.
Yeah, I mean
medium rare.
Medium rare.
No, well done.
Yeah.
So I usually go for medium rare. So I'm really so when I order a steak, I usually get medium.
Well, can't you get the same results from medium rare to well? I mean, what's the?
I mean, I'm not like
here. What's the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, as long as it's not like really freaking dry. You know, if I'm eating beef jerky, I am okay. It's freaking steak, so you know, you're fine. Whatever, you know.
Steak is great, man.
Steak is good, and a big potato with sour cream and butter on it, some salt and pepper, maybe some cheese and bacon,
some chives.
Oh my gosh, guys!
Yeah,
that's like food porn right there.
I can't get sour cream, but I'll take the butter and I'll take the chives and I'll take the bacon. Yeah.
Hell, I'm hungry right now.
Put some like porn music behind it, call it Only Food, and sell it online.
Yeah. Damn, Ryan,
but
man.
they gotta import some sour cream in this country because they don't eat sour cream in this country. And damn,
Ryan, I'm thinking about canceling the show, man. I think we need to get together and go eat. I mean, I don't know. There's good steak restaurants around here, but I'm pretty sure we can find one.
I'm sure we could. We need to go to several and just try them all out to make sure we get the best one.
Yeah,
we'll call it market research.
Or you guys can come here. We get some Japanese A1 Wagyu beef, and that'll be okay too, wouldn't it?
I mean, yes.
No. No, we're gonna leave her right where she's at.
Oh,
She's in
shush.
she's in podcast timeout.
Oh,
Podcast timeout. How do you get thrown in podcast timeout?
yeah.
She's in podcast timeout. She is she's been in trouble.
I'm not.
Irene. What did you do this
I
time?
haven't done anything. I've been a good person.
It wasn't me, I swear.
It was
How
him.
many times in our lives have we heard that before?
It's his fault, not mine.
It's
We'll
always
just blame
my
Ed because he's not here.
Yeah,
I know it's his fault.
It's Howie's fault.
Well, I hope he's watching the show. Ryan, tell the world a little bit about yourself and what you do for a living, brother.
Well, I am the host.
Uh-oh. Speaker died. What happened here? Yeah, I lost you, Ryan. Irene, can you hear him?
Yeah.
I cannot hear him.
Oh.
Oh, did I hit the microphone? Am I there?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might have hit the. There's a little button on my microphone here. If I might have hit it with my chin, and I've been mute. So, all right, I am the host of the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. We stream live every Tuesday and Thursday night at 9:00 p.m. We do TikTok live on Thursdays, and then on Tuesdays we're on the Rift Nation Network from 9 to whenever. Usually 10, but sometimes it goes a little bit over.
Interesting.
I started the show back in 2014.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for a hot minute. And we talk about anything and everything paranormal. Irene's listened to the show a few times. I've seen her in the chat room. And also I've been investigating the paranormal since 2012. I met Howie or Ed back in 2012. My ex-wife, well, she's my wife at the time. Her uncle was starting a paranormal team with Howie, and he had seen us. He had seen some of the posts I'd made about Ghost Adventures when I was. I was watching it all the time, and I can't wait, making posts on Facebook about I can't wait for Ghost Adventures to come out, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had asked her if we'd be interested in, joining his paranormal team. And it's like, yeah, of course. So we ended up going out to see what it was all about. And, I met Howie, and we started All Seeing Paranormal Society. That was my first paranormal team. And, got the paranormal bug ever since. We investigated a bunch of different places. After a while, I left AHPS and I started Crop Paranormal with Dennis Eslock, and we started investigating the cabin on 360, which is a paranormal location in Mechanicsville, Virginia, that my family owns. Owns a property. Dennis is now the caretaker of the property. He is paying the rent. He is doing everything. But we've been investigating out there since 2016. Like I said, I started with Crop with Dennis, and then I went back and joined Howie again with ASPS, and I joined the Rift Nation Network back in 2024. So that's my rambling about what's been going on with me for the past few years.
Wow, it seemed like you've been pretty busy. Man, You run a podcast show. That's pretty cool. It's not many times that we get podcasters here as guests. I try to reach out to many of them I can, but most of the guys that I reach out to, like you say, they do Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays throughout the week, and I am a Friday. If I'm not investigating, Friday, Saturday, Sunday type guy. So it kind of works out for Irene because it gives her a break from dealing with me during the weekday, and she's got to deal with me on the weekend. What?
Nothing.
So it gives her that 5-day break to where she ain't got to hear me rumble and all that stuff. But hey, the one thing I like about our podcast is I kind of dabble in a little controversy. I really like speaking my mind, and Irene does too. And so therefore, I would never ask you the questions that you've asked before on your podcast. I don't like doing that. I like to have people like yourself. I like to keep y'all guessing, and and while you guys might, give me, some great, answers to the questions, I'm also learning, from people, just from, way people think and, and the way they do things. So, welcome to the show. And I'm here to pick your brain a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to pick your brain. And like Christy said, there's nothing wrong with ruffling the little feathers. I'm big on controversy. And I think Irene got me like that when she got into a big argument with a demonologist 3 years ago. So so I am the one that loves to do that. But with that being said, let's dive right into this. So feel free to sit back. I hope you got your coffee. Irene, you got your popcorn and all that. So
hey, Christy.
First things first, man. And a lot of people now, and I was thinking about this at work because I was listening to a pretty cool guy. I don't know if you ever saw him. It's called the Horrible Podcast.
The Horrible Podcast?
Yes, check that guy out. He's a good guy, and he's got a lot going on. He podcasts remotely, and he podcasts outside. And that's the cool thing about it. So I am going to ask you a couple of questions here. First question, and I was thinking about this today, guys. And feel free to speak your mind and tell me what you think about it. Diversity. In your mind, Ryan and Irene, do you guys think that the paranormal community need more diversity into it?
I mean, I don't think that we are stopping there being more diversity in the paranormal. Being interested in the paranormal, that's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, someone in the African American community wants to be interested in, or, any other community, it's a choice. We're not gatekeepers here. We're not saying you can't be a part of it.
Right.
If you want to be a part of it, then be a part of it. I'd love to have more diversity in the paranormal field, but like I said, we're not stopping anybody from doing it. They can do whatever they want.
Exactly. But a lot of people are hesitant because of what we are trying to accomplish, and which is communicating with those that are passed on. A lot of people consider that taboo. A lot of people consider that a big no-no.
Here it is.
So,
And that's why you don't see any people who doing it on on Facebook because they can get canned from their job if they do it on Facebook in Japan. So they do it on TikTok.
Right. So how do we ease the minds of these people out there that are that are curious about it, but also have that fear about
Mm.
I think, with social media, Facebook, these podcasts, and the community that we have, it does make it easier for people to come forward and
Mhm.
feel more comfortable talking about this stuff. Like that's when I do the show, we try to keep it lighthearted, try to keep it interesting, but we also want to build a community where it's comfortable for people to talk about things. And
Mm.
back before, there wasn't much of a outlet for people who were interested in this stuff. And I think it's becoming less and less taboo as it's becoming more and more like in the public with TV shows and stuff like that. At least around here. I don't know about Japan.
it. Right. So you're saying it's become a little bit more mainstream now.
Yeah, it's becoming that way. Now people, you know, don't feel comfortable coming out with their stories. They can still message teams or
Hmm.
it don't have to like come on a podcast if they don't want to talk about what that's there, but there is
Right.
ways to talk about it and still remain anonymous if they so choose.
Exactly. Could and it's weird because I've had some of people that know what I do, and there's like, dude, I mean, some unbelievable stories that they're telling me. And,
Mm.
and the first question that I have is for them is, why don't you share that story? And the first thing they would say is, who would believe me?
Yeah.
You'd
Who
be
would believe
surprised.
me? And I can't help but think, I like, dude, are you telling me this story? And hell, I'll believe you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I believe you. Trust me. There is, I mean, Ryan, it's been some stories, I mean, that I just could not, I mean, I'm scratching my head
But
on
all
top
right.
of them.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen if someone tells a story?
Hmm.
I mean, what is the worst that can happen? Someone says, "I don't believe you," and that's it.
Yeah.
Before they would say it like, tell a story and people would send you to the loony bin. They'd send
Hmm.
you to a hospital or something. That doesn't happen anymore.
Mm,
You know, I got a story at the cabin. There was a team that came down from New Hampshire,
Hmm.
drove 9 hours, rented the cabin out for the entire weekend. Right, drove packed their team into a Ford Expedition, drove 9 hours, paid for the weekend. Dennis gave the tour for the investigation, gave him the keys. He left. He got a call about an hour and a half later, maybe a little bit less, and they told him that they were leaving. They couldn't deal with what was at the cabin. He
mhm.
said all this stuff was happening to them. Their team wasn't ready for, and they didn't even start investigating yet. They were already at each other's throats. One of the guys said he saw a goat man uh, staring at him out the window of the cabin. Another guy said he went to go take a piss in the woods, and when he looked up, he was surrounded by hooded figures. And he said that they said that the two leaders of the group, they were like thick as thieves, like brothers. And one of the guys basically said to the other guy was like, I really just want to punch you in the face right now. And they were like, okay, we got to go. And then Dennis was like, I can come and bless the house. I can get the spirits to calm down. Are you sure you want to go? And they were like, no, we have to go. And they drove back. Now I'd heard the stories, and he told me about the goat man and the hooded figures, and you take each story with a grain of salt, and you're like, all right, well, if you think you saw that, then that's what you saw. I mean, not every person is going to be like, oh my God, that's a fucked up story. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
But if you come to the right people, if you're talking to someone who hosts a paranormal podcast, then you should probably assume that they're gonna at least listen to you and not make you feel like an idiot.
Exactly.
And I think that's what the biggest problem is with have a society that have these stories. That's the problem. They think that if they tell somebody, then they're gonna make idiots. And I'm like, dude, because I've heard so many amazing stories from so many. I'm like, dude, you got to say this. You got to tell this. I mean, there is no way that you cannot tell me this story and you cannot share it with the world. The world people has to know, and the story, and what's so crazy about it, whatever the story has been told, hell, the location of where that took place is right around the corner. I mean, I'm like, wow, really? And but here's the thing. Going back to the diversity thing, there is a lot of people out there, different races who just don't want to dabble in it, and as much as I push for diversity, because I'm just being honest with you, me as a black man in the, being a black culture, dude, there's been some amazing accounts of, people saying that they're seeing things, and I'm like, dude, what the hell is wrong with this? And there's like, well, we were always taught not to dabble in the stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were always taught, and I always tell Irene, when I talk to Irene, I was always told as a young boy, if I see something that I can't explain, just to run away from it. So I wasn't always told to, if I see something, hell, go investigate it, go see what it's about. And it's just something that's totally different. And I'm sure that, as kids, every parent tell their kids that. If you see something you can't, you just haul your ass down to the house. You know what I'm saying? But it's just something that I think, dude, I mean, if we can get people to be a little bit more open, and it is for the most part. But, there is so many amazing stories that need to be told that people just aren't telling.
My mother was an empath, and she never really stopped us from seeing things. So she said, if you saw something, let's talk about it. But then you see, she taught me that you have to have something to believe in. So I was part of the Catholic religion, but it was never really stuck to us like you had to go to church every Sunday. No, you're always free to go if you want to go or not go if you don't want to go. So it was always open like that in our family. So if it's anything that went creepy and crawly through the night, or something that went boo through the night, it was always accepted in our home, and never to deny it, never to stop yourself from believing and from seeing and from understanding it. So my house is a little bit different because I don't know, my mom was like that, and I think was always acceptable in our house, and never to deny something that's there, and it's always a reason why it's there, and to always accept it and to be a part of it. But when it comes to this stuff in this country, it's deny, deny, deny. I'm here, you are there. If you're a spirit, you walk that way. If I'm a person, I walk this way, and we're good. You know, but it's never really accepted to mingle with it and to be a part of it. But yeah, but when it comes to my husband and myself, he knows about certain places that are haunted, and he goes, "You want to go?" I said, "With you alone, no. With somebody with you, yeah. Who can support me and to help me, yeah, but not just you alone, because I've been with you alone, and you got a taxi here now, and it's no fun anymore." And he goes, "Oh well, sorry." Like, but
Well,
it's yeah.
let me ask you guys a question. Every man, woman, child on this planet have experienced something paranormal, whether they acknowledge it or not. But here's the thing: since the day of our creation, since the day we were conceived to become into this world, we're surrounded with paranormal. Are we or are we not? So here's the question: is where do our soul come from? Is that not considered part? If we're anything across that veil, it's considered paranormal. Am I right or am I wrong? Because
Yeah, I
apparently
mean,
that's where our soul comes from across that veil. So
Yeah.
we've always been intertwined with it. It's just that some people might forget that where they come from originally.
yeah. Well, that's the key right there. We is the people forgetting who we really are. Um, and maybe when you're born, it you forget, and you have to relearn it or be willing to relearn it. Um, and when I was growing up, I was pretty straight laced. The idea of the paranormal or anything uh, beyond what I could see scared me. Like I was really like scared to death of ghosts. I actually got a Ghost of Richmond book for my birthday and or Christmas, and I didn't want it to be in my room. I was convinced when I was a kid that the ghosts were going to come out of the book and get me. So I mean, growing up was a lot for me, at least. It was a lot different than how it is now. Again, going back to the paranormal being more mainstream and not as taboo as it was. I think we are learning to open ourselves up more spiritually, and I think we are making it easier for children to learn about this stuff at an earlier age. Not like scary stuff, whatever but being more open spiritually, and maybe being more in touch with that side. And then the ghost stuff the haunted house stuff can come later. But I was thinking the other day, is like, how would I be reacting as a kid knowing that my dad was a ghost hunter? It's just
Like
so strange. But now it feels like it's like a natural everyday thing. Like, oh yeah,
But
we hunt ghosts.
yeah, that's. But aren't kids intertwined already? Because I can remember my kids having that third person that they saw, I didn't see. They always had that.
Oh yeah,
So I
they still have
think
that innocence.
they always
Yeah,
intertwine but they just don't know. They've always been one with it. having that kid that with that weird name. Like, who are you talking to, son? Oh, that's Jacob over there. But see, what the thing is, us as parents, we don't actually we think about it, but then we forget because we're so overwhelmed with everyday life. It sometimes it don't come to think about it and go back and ask our kids, "Hey, who is Jacob? Tell me a little
If
bit
you,
about Jacob."
if you look at how much things have changed since between like when I was growing up until now, when I was a kid, I don't think I ever had an imaginary friend like that. I didn't see anything like that. But if I had gone to my parents and said something to them, they would tell me it was just my imagination, and they would downplay it. Not that they were trying to be dismissive, but it's just the way things were back then.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And things have changed so much again through social media and being able to talk about things more openly
Mm-hmm.
now than before, when basically all you had communication you had was through a telephone and through mail, and nobody was talking about ghosts
No,
on the phone.
no.
No,
It's
but
it's funny, It's funny, because here children are taught about the paranormal at a very young age, because uh, most of the children's um anime is all about paranormal, and so they're aware of it very young. As soon as they were able to talk and to be able to sit down and watch a program, but you're taught not to communicate with it because it's a no-no. But then they know that their country's haunted. I don't know. I think it just you're taught one way, but then you're taught not to touch with it. It's kind of like you can look but don't touch. You can see but don't communicate. But in my case,
right,
that I do communicate, they said, "Oh,
Tell you
yeah,
what,
that's frightening, right? You shouldn't
yeah,
be
I've
doing this."
watched I've watched videos like Nuke's Top Five or whatever of ghost videos from Japan, and that
Hmm.
place is messed up with
It is.
ghosts over there. I'm like, oh my god! Like either Japan and like Korea, China. It's like they have so many abandoned schools that people go into that
Hmm.
are extremely haunted. I'm like, what's happening in those schools that make it so active?
I'll tell you, my son's school, the one that he goes now, is extremely haunted. Um, it used to be a farmland when this lady and her daughter lived there, and her daughter was only 14 years old, and she found another guy, and I don't know if she was married or not at that time, but she found another guy, so she started being with this guy, and he started coming over to the house more, and I think they got married, and the girl was like an a thing that she doesn't want. She just wanted her husband, so she threw her daughter down the well. The well is now in the middle of the gymnasium. They they put prayers. They boarded up the well, and they put paper prayers. They written prayers on the well, and they attached it to the well, and they plastered it to the well. They glued it to the well, and so she wouldn't come out. So they infused her in the well. Now the property was sold, and they built a huge school on it. They removed the wooden things off the well, and they removed the prayers, and now she haunts them. Now she haunts the school. My son had to go to the bathroom. He was doing his business on in the bathroom, and all of a sudden he heard a knock on the bathroom stall. There was nobody in there, and his hair on his back went zing because he's also an empath, right? And he said, "Holy shit, what the hell is this?" And it's just she knocked on the stall door again. He said, "Man, I did my business in 3 seconds. I ran out of that bathroom and I went back to class." He said, and then he came running home. He said, "Mom, did you know my school's haunted?" I said, well, yeah. He goes, why did you tell me? Well, um, I didn't want to start you because you wouldn't want to go back to school again. He goes, I'm not going to go to the bathroom anymore in the school. I'm going to go next door to the convenience store. I said, well, if you got to go, you got to go. You can't do that. And he goes, well, there's no damn way I'm going to go to the school bathroom anymore. He hasn't been to the school bathroom since because it freaked him out. And the thing is that the school starts, he goes to night school. So it starts from 5 o'clock and it ends about 11 o'clock at night, and he said, no, I'm not doing this, not doing this, not doing this anymore. But yeah, it really freaked him out. And he's not frightened about spirits, but he, when it comes to him interacting with, he goes, uh-oh, now what do I do? And but I knew that little girl haunts people, because when we went to the school for the very first time, when the entrance, when all the kids got accepted to the school, I saw her hovering up above this man, and he was like, he was like, please, 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 please don't. And I said, you can't be doing this. She goes, why not? And I'm having fun. I said, no, 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 I'll get rid of you if you do this. She goes, okay, I'll stop. But she went someplace. But yeah, she still haunts the school and
That's
I
in the
mean, going
amazing.
to the
bathroom.
bathroom at school is scary enough as it is, because
Yeah, I know.
but add a ghost into it, that does not help.
Yeah, it's
Right?
really creepy. It's really creepy. And every school, almost every school in Japan is haunted, right? So go figure.
Right. Man, that's I don't know if I can be taking a poop and somebody, hey, I'm busy here.
Yeah,
I'm
because you're like
busy.
the most vulnerable when you're on the toilet. Is not
Yeah,
like
right?
And
People
you
don't
can't
understand
stop
that.
in the middle, right? You can't stop midstream, or you can't,
yeah,
No, 'cause,
yeah,
hey,
no,
hell no, that floater is gonna come. It's gonna come one way or another. You can't stop that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
And
Uh,
that'd be one cool place to investigate, but in Japan, you're not allowed to go to the school unless you're invited. So, yeah,
that'd be the worst to be like a ghost and have to haunt a bathroom. Like it's like I
yeah.
don't want to stuck in
Remind me of
haunting a
that.
bathroom.
What was
and
the
it's in
name
the
of?
middle of Tokyo. It's in the middle of Tokyo. It's near. It's in the most expensive area in Tokyo, where you can his it, on the where they do the sports activities. You can see Tokyo Tower right in the middle of the school, and you can see it at a distance. It's only like a couple miles away from the school, and it's in the most beautiful, big, huge, expensive district of Tokyo. But it's it's one of those daunting areas. No, 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 no.
Yeah, man, I can't. I gotta leave that one alone. I get mad when my kids knock on the door, man. All
I
that,
want
let
some
me know.
privacy here. That's
Yeah,
the most only
come
time
on
you have
now.
time to yourself. Now you got
But you
ghosts
don't
knocking
have
on
a
the door
choice.
too.
But you don't have a choice, right?
No,
No, yeah. All right, but you know what, guys? Do you know uh, what really makes me want to pursue this even more? It's not just the people that I encounter, like yourself and Irene, great people, but I also like hearing about some of the urban legends and superstitious things that people talk about. Man, I've heard some great ones. You know what I'm saying? Some of them I've encountered myself. Some things I do want to try. Just to see if it's really what they say it is. You know what I'm saying? Like this double-headed mirror. I mean, I've never even thought about putting two mirrors together and see if it opens up a portal. How do we know if the portal? How do we know if that works? You know, don't. And one of the most weirdest ones is I grew up with is when you see a black cat, you just turn around and walk the other way.
Yeah, or
I,
black cat crosses your path type of
yeah,
thing. Yeah. Don't walk
I
under a
mean,
ladder. I've whenever I drop salt, I throw it over my shoulder like automatically.
Mm-hmm.
That's an old one.
I've never even that whole black. I mean, what is the purpose of that? I mean, I've never even understood that. They never told me the logic in that.
Or knocking on wood.
Yeah,
It's just like knock on wood. And you feel like if you don't do it, something bad's going to happen to you because
yeah.
it's ingrained in your head. Like, don't walk under a ladder. Christy walks under ladders, but I don't avoid walking under ladders as much. But it's not like I have a bunch of ladders I need to walk under anyways.
Yeah. Or if you
but I'll usually walk around just because I don't want anything falling on my head.
Exactly.
But,
or
like,
if
broken
you break
mirrors,
mirrors.
I mean, I'm scared of breaking them. I'll need 7 years of bad luck. And who decided it was 7 years?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did someone put a curse on a mirror like 1,000 years ago, and now every mirror is 7 years bad luck? I mean, who decides that?
That's
Here,
wild.
you don't look at a mirror after 3 a.m. in the morning. If you have to go to the bathroom, because I don't have mirrors in my living room, if you notice, all the mirrors are in front of the sink in the bathroom, and you can't see the bathrooms in the living room because they don't want to bring that. If it's the portal, they don't want that to be seen where you're sitting or where you're sleeping or where you do or where you eat. So you're not allowed to look at a mirror at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not allowed to whistle after 2 a.m. Yeah, there's tons of rules here.
Breaking mirror breaks portals. That's it.
I was always told don't stare in the mirror too long. You might not like you might not like what's staring at you or what's staring back at you.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie I used to watch where my mom read it for me when I was a kid called The Watcher in the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
It was an old Disney movie, had Betty Davis in it, and there was a child who got sent to a different world. Like a bunch of kids had gone to this church and they were doing some kind of prank on her, and somehow I guess a lightning storm hit and a bell fell out of the tower and the bell fell on top of her, and somehow she got sent to a different world. She had a blindfold on because they sent her to a church because she didn't know what was going on. So these other kids, they come to stay with their grandma, and this girl who was sent to this other dimension starts popping up in the mirror with this blindfold on, blonde-haired girl saying, help me. Just almost like a robot. I watched that movie. I was scared to look in the mirror for like a year after that because I was afraid this girl was going to show up in my mirror.
Boy, that is so funny. Well, you never know, man. There's other ones that are out there. But we're going to talk about something we talked about earlier. Does Hollywood, how do you feel about Hollywood? And what should the younger generation take for what Hollywood does in the paranormal? Do you think they should run away, or do you think Hollywood's helping them?
Well, I think that what they put on Hollywood isn't exactly what actually happens during a paranormal investigation. Of course, they have to make it more entertaining, because if they did a movie of people sitting in the dark talking to themselves, I don't think it would do very well.
No.
They paranormal investigations are for paranormal investigators or people who are interested in the paranormal. Like the movies, they're for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to cater to a wider audience, so they have to add more embellishments. They have to make it scarier, add CGI and stuff like that to make it so people will actually want to come out to see their movies. I'm glad they're getting people interested in the paranormal, but at the same time, people have to realize that what they see in the movies doesn't happen in real life. Now, I'm sure people have been attacked in real life. I've heard stories of people being attacked and stuff like that, but Hollywood, you always have to be like, all right, well, this is Hollywood. You want to experience a real investigation, you have to talk to real investigators.
Exactly. So would it be so bad if Hollywood was to actually do that? I think somebody needs to do it just to make sure that everybody has a complete understanding about what you just said.
Well, they have decent shows that, I mean, like Ghost Hunters, they did it.
The only decent one I know is it used to be called Destination Fear.
Oh yeah,
that's the one with Jack Gates on it.
I watched Expedition X.
Well, it used to be. Yeah, it used to be
Truth. Destination Truth, I think it was.
Before this one, I remember he was on 2. He started in Expedition X.
Yeah, they have Destination Truth or X. I don't know. It's confusing, but I like Josh Gates too. I think he's good.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, he leaves it up. He leaves it up to us to decide. He leaves it up to the audience. He doesn't automatically assumes anything. He just, you guys decide.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of shows out there that hype up stuff a lot. And again, you have to look at it with the fact that they want to get an audience.
Yeah.
So they will add the music, they'll add like the super excitement over random EVPs that don't really say anything at all.
Yeah.
Or they'll play music. That was just me off is when they play music that you can't even hear the EVP.
No.
Or you hear a bunch of static. And then they said, "Oh, it must be saying this," and you can't hear a thing. But again, these are for everyone. Not necessarily people who do what we do, but people who have like a small interest in it, and they're like, "Oh, let me cut this on and see what this is all about," but don't really have any kind of interest in going out and investigating. Because they know, like, people like us are going to nitpick it, So I don't think they really make it for us. They make it for everybody else. Now we have teams that, YouTubers who and people like that who will go and do it for, regular paranormal investigators. They'll still add some music and stuff like that, but it's not quite as commercialized as Travel Channel and like Discovery shows, because they're there for everybody and not just for us.
Exactly. How different? This is in your own thing. How different do you think? Because I love history, and I can't help but think what would be, or how with someone like us, how would we be 3,000 from between 3,000 to 10,000 years ago? Do you think they would even encounter anything? If they do, how would they explain it?
3,000 years ago?
Yeah, back when it's all started in the history times.
I'd be miserable without AC. I know that. But I think back 3,000 years ago, or even 200 years ago, we were a lot more spiritual back then. I think, when we were more in touch with the earth and being outside and not being stuck inside. Again, going back to the, modern technology, it's good, but at the same time, we're losing touch with the outside world, being more because you want to be spiritual, you have to be able to go outside and experience the earth and touch grass and be thankful for what you have and be cognizant of Mother Earth. And we lose touch with that, being stuck inside in the cities. And I think when our ancestors who are outside all the time, they felt more in touch with the earth and more open spiritually because that's all they knew, and they believed that. And then through the years, through religion and stuff like that, what we were before gets patted down. And like, no, don't look over here. This is how you want to be. If you want to get into heaven, you want to do this, you've got to act this way because we are telling you this is the truth.
Yeah. It's like, do what I say, not say what I do.
Yeah. The one thing that puzzles me, and I think it's really cool, but I always wondered, Native Americans have been here for millions of years. But the one thing that I've always noticed about them when you ask them, if you can even speak to them, because some of them won't even speak to you, how their stories, from the beginning to the end has never changed. But somehow, some way, how is it possible that if we hear a story and somewhere in between the lines, somebody add something else, so it'll get watered down. But the Native Americans have stayed true to every little aspect from their beginning.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is.
I mean, I think it's because they don't let people change what their stories are, and they take it, I won't say take it more seriously, but they have this tradition, and when you have so many different opinions adding their 2 cents worth, it's hard to disseminate what is real and what's not.
I mean, because I was watching, there was a guy that was on TikTok, and he's Native American, and I just happened to ask him, I'm like, hey, can you, tell me what you think about the sky gods? He hesitated. He didn't say. He's like, I believe in them, but left it like that. So they are true in what they believe, but yet they refuse to speak on it.
Yeah, I talked to someone about coming on the show, and she was like, I can't talk about it. We can't talk about it, which would not have made a very good show, because we can't talk about it. But yeah, that's right. They take it. They don't pat their beliefs down.
Exactly.
They've always been there, and they'll always be there. That's just how, that's who they are.
Yeah. So what they're talking about 3 million years today, back then, they'll be saying the same thing 3 million years from now.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. That's what I love about it. They don't water down nothing.
But again, at the same time, it is also good to have conversations, and like we are having, Like, okay, this is your point of view, but how about this point of view? Which I think a lot of people today, they lack that want to see other people's point of view. Like, hey, maybe it's you believe this, maybe I believe this. Let's come together and try to figure it out, because my beliefs aren't the same as the Native Americans' beliefs, but I don't dismiss their beliefs either.
No,
It's all about
I mean,
open
yeah,
conversation.
but shit, hell, it's hard to get an open conversation with
Mm-hmm.
the. Ugh. I mean, that's like pulling a wisdom tooth out. They will not even consider it, unless you
Yeah.
got something that they might want. And they
Well, I
might
mean, I would never try to change anybody's mind about what they believe in.
exactly.
I would never try and do that. But I do like to learn about different beliefs and stuff like that, and see, hey, well, maybe they have a point.
Yeah.
See, that's
Okay, we have
that's
a
the other side. I would talk about it because I think uh we are a very close up community here,
How did,
and nobody knows anything about it. There people are interested, but it's not open enough to people to want to come and and experience it. Because I would invite anybody here, and I would say, okay, you want to experience? Okay, I'll take you to certain places, but I'm not going to take you to certain places that I pick and choose my poison very, 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 very carefully, because I'm not going to take you to a place where you can get hurt, or where you not be able to come out the next day, or you not be able to come out at all. So, and people don't realize it, that there are certain places that you shouldn't go. There's one place I'm going to say right off the bat: you shouldn't go to the suicide forest, because you go there to die. You go to end your life. So you don't go there to visit. It's not a place to visit. So I think people have to realize that there are places where you can, and places where you shouldn't. And I don't know. It's just l- learning the culture, and learning the culture of the country, and learning the culture of even the Native Americans. They would go to certain place, and they wouldn't allow you to go there. And there's certain places in my friend's property that she doesn't go without permission. And and it's just respecting, honoring the dead in a certain way that other people would never understand.
it makes you wonder about the suicide forest, if like what was it about that particular forest that made that one person go in there, and then it become someplace where everyone goes, because it had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you
you
got
know
understand, Mount Fuji itself is haunted, okay? Because scientists have got up the mountain to measure the magma in the volcano, and have died going up the mountain, or coming down the mountain. So the whole area is haunted, right? And it's only one part of it. The suicide forest belongs underneath Mount Fuji, and the other part you can climb up it, and they have tours and stuff like that, where you can climb the mountain and go to the summit and have tea or whatever. But then the other side, where it says "Do not go here, do not enter here," and it's been like that for a long time. Okay, and everyone knows about it, and everyone does know respects it not to go there, unless you want to end your life, right? Yeah.
I wonder if it's like there's so much energy from the people who died, plus the the stuff that's been going on for thousands of years,
Hmm.
where it's just even maybe if even if you don't feel like you want to commit or do that to yourself, but you go there, if you start to feel that way,
Hmm.
because you're in that particular area, makes me wonder like how haunted Mount Everest is,
Yeah.
because of all
Yeah.
the dead bodies there were on
Going up to the summit, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, not like people are stopping to, ghost hunt, obviously, up there, but it probably has a lot of different spirits up there.
But you see, you
I,
never
I
hear of ghost hunters going up Mount Everest to study the spirits there, right? No.
It might be maybe people may look at that as being disrespectful to the bodies that are there. So maybe that's why people don't do it. Plus, you walk up Mount Everest, every bit of oxygen you need. You don't want to be sitting there trying to do EVP session when you're.
Yeah.
Hey, let me
Yeah.
stop here. I gotta be talking to this. I gotta break out my meter real quick and see if there's activity up here. You guys wait. Yeah.
right.
So yeah,
Bring up my REM pod and bring up my REM pod.
they're probably maybe a little concentrating on other things besides ghosts when they're up there. But
You're worried about surviving so
yeah,
you can climb down the mountain, right? Yeah. I think the environment prevents you from doing things that you would normally want to do if you're an investigator. I think that's more
yeah.
important.
It may
But
have their mind on other things.
yeah.
Like, oh,
Wow. All right. Yeah, that's great. We're gonna jump right over to everybody's favorite topic. Everybody likes to talk about religion.
Oh God.
So yeah. Uh you know, whether Ryan, do you think religion plays a big part in what we do?
you know what? I think that it does if you're religious. I think that you go to a location and you want protection, you say a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
It works if you believe in it.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone's not religious, I don't think that they're not gonna not have a experience. This paranormal is there whether you're religious or not.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I say if I go into a location that I think may be dangerous, I'll say a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Or people bring protection like cross or maybe some stones, but it only works if you believe in it.
Yeah.
Can you
Well,
guys tell me? Yeah, can you guys tell me two religions that are that really accepts the paranormal as one? I know there's a lot out there, but there's two main ones that are more accepted to this than others. Do you guys know which two those are?
mm-mm.
I mean, I don't know, voodoo.
Voodoo is one. And there's another.
Hoodoo, was that the same? Hoodoo.
No, they're totally two different. And I had to find that out listening to a gentleman that lives in New Orleans. He was trying to explain the difference between the two. And because I'm like you, Ryan, it was two of the same. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? And he was like, you have to be here for me to actually show you. And I'm like, wow. But he tried to break it down as much as he could. Hell, and I still didn't understand what the hell he was saying, because if you're not involved to any of that, then you really don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so that's such a complex religion. It's hard to try to explain it in just one sitting.
Yeah, and he's and yeah, it was crazy, but he tried to explain it to where he's the best that he could about it, but he did mention the origins of where it came from, and that right there, and I mean, okay, man, the origins of it made a lot of sense, But I can't help but think, man, if anybody dabbles in, because it's feared. Voodoo, just the name voodoo. Everybody don't really know about it, but hearing that name kind of put a little, make your breath just stop right there for a minute. Like, okay.
Yeah, you almost like you think of like witch doctors, and you think of
Yeah.
like voodoo dolls and stuff like that. Again,
Mini
maybe
coffins, chicken.
yeah, or maybe like going back to Hollywood, maybe they put a negative connotation on it on purpose because they wanted to scare people away from it.
Yeah,
Without
you know,
you need to understand things, and just I'm not saying you need to practice it or whatever, but
no,
learn
but
about it.
have you ever wondered why? Because I've tried to reach out, man, because most voodoo practices that I know of are in the Caribbean, South Florida, and most of the Gulf states, especially it's heavy in Louisiana. But I've tried to reach out to a couple paranormal investigators or people that practice voodoo in the Caribbean. They don't want to be bothered. These guys,
yeah.
I mean, they take it pretty serious down there.
Surprising because it's all about trying to learn about it. That's why we have people on our shows to talk, just to maybe dispel some of the myths about the culture.
Mm-hmm.
We're not trying to expose them or anything like that. We're really genuinely curious about what they believe in.
But it is so hard just trying to reach out to one that wants to sit down and want to be able to educate me or educate, the ones that are being, that want to be talking. These guys, they're like, oh, no, we can't do that. That is,
I mean,
not
maybe
gonna
it's
happen.
against, like, I remember going down to Charleston with my family, and I guess like my mom wanted to take a picture of someone, and they said no because something about their spirit might get caught in the film or something like that, and they were adamant, don't take my picture. So someone put that in that person's head, that if someone takes a picture of you, then your soul will get stuck in a picture. Be interesting to see why they think that. So yeah, it's people's beliefs are interesting. Understanding where they came from.
Now, do you think the more you believe, the powerful your beliefs will become?
Yeah, I think that like the more you go out, more you investigate, the more you get into the paranormal, I think the stronger your abilities become. I think the more open you are to experiencing things, maybe not just ghosts, but even on a more spiritual level, learning about your spirit guides, learning about the Akashic records, astral travel, stuff like that. The more you open yourself up to it, the more you will experience.
Interesting. All right. Well, you know what, man? Whether you like him or not, and I'm going to bring him up. Irene, I know you hate him, But Donald Trump had just last week, he's going to put out more UFO files. What do you think about that?
I think that I'm glad that the interest is there. I it's tough. I don't think he's. I don't know. It's hard because I'm glad that the government is at least putting some stuff out there for people, but I don't know if it'll ever be like, well, here's an alien or here's the ship. It's all usually here's something that was caught. What do you think it is?
Exactly.
Leaving up to the
Brian,
people to decide.
Brian, don't you think we already know that already?
Yeah, well, we know that. Yeah.
And the thing
But
is
again,
that
it's not for us. It's for everybody else.
but you see, we already studied it. We already know that there's something there. We already know that they've been visiting our planet for a long time. We already know what's out there. But yeah, you're right. It is for everybody else. It's not for us because we already. Yeah, we've already studied it. We've already researched it. We already know that there are beings from other planets. We already know that they've been visiting our planet for a long time. It's like tell me something that we don't know, okay? Show me something that that I want to know, not something that I already know about it.
Yeah, I would be more impressed if the government said, "Hey, ghosts exist."
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
Yeah, that's why I'd be more impressed if they did that.
Yeah.
Or you can astral project, you can all that stuff. It's real.
yeah,
you know what? I would be more impressed. I don't want the government to say ghosts are real. I want the Catholic Church to say it's real. Those are the ones that I would love to have them tell me that. Got a little 2-minute video that they did last year. I don't know what that was all about. I tried to look into it when they
Thank you,
came
Christy.
on TV to say what they say. And I don't know if they were throwing something off or they did it just to throw something off. But myself, I wasn't impressed with it. Matter of fact, I watched it again just to see if there was some hidden signals in the damn thing. And I'm like, no, I don't see anything. So it has to be a reason why they did that.
yeah.
But again, in the main, in like the main, like big scheme of things, I can't think of the word. Big scheme of things, does it really matter if the government says aliens exist or the government says ghosts exist? It's not going to make me believe in aliens more or ghosts more because I already do.
Yeah.
Right.
Either you believe in it or you don't. If you have to wait for the government to tell you that it's real, then I mean, who believes the government anyways? So
I
I mean, a lot of people will say the government says the aliens are real. So I'm not going to believe it now because the government says it's real. Unless you experience it for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how many videos they show you
Mm-hmm.
or they release, unless you experience something yourself or believe in it, the government saying it's real is not going to change anybody's mind.
No, but I think it bails them out to a certain extent.
Yeah.
It puts a lid, if you want to, it puts a lid or a temporary lid on conspiracy theories that are out there. Those are the ones that they want to control, but you can't control conspiracy theories because their mind is always racing and it's always running. There's always
people,
a possibility of what.
I mean, conspiracy theories, they don't believe the government anyways.
Yeah.
So if the government puts their stuff out, they're not going to stop the conspiracy theories because they don't believe what the government is saying anyways.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. They put a temporary lid on it, and it's not going to work. those are the ones that you want to be able to try to
But
calm
at the
down,
same
but it's not gonna work.
at the same time, it is also good that the government is not being completely dismissive over the fact that there could be something out there, and they are releasing things that let people be like, okay, this is what we're going to release to you. It's not going to be anything significant, but we will release these, and and we'll let you decide if it's real or not. We're not going to tell you it's real. So they're you know letting people think that they could be real, and they're not just completely dismissing it like they have before. Like, oh no, it doesn't exist. No, you're like, oh, we're not going to say it exists. We're not going to say it. But
Yeah.
here's this, and you can decide if you want. And it's so they'd be like, okay, well, plausible deniability here. We didn't say it existed. We put the stuff out. That was you. It wasn't us.
Right. I to be honest with you, man, I just wish they just do it and be done with.
I wonder if they don't do it because they're afraid of how people will react. Because a lot of, there are people who do stupid shit just to do stupid shit, and they look for any excuse to riot or break and steal stuff, and maybe they're scared of like what could happen if people find out. So they are like, okay, we'll release these for the people who are interested in it, but we're not going to just have a press conference and say yes, aliens are real, because maybe they're afraid that there are certain people who couldn't handle that kind of news. So they do it bit by bit and have it disseminate into the culture. And instead of having just one open the floodgates, kind of like ease into it. And maybe at some point it'll become, again, like the paranormal, the spiritual, like we were talking about earlier, it just becomes a normal thing. And you're like, or it's like, oh yeah, aliens are here.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not a big deal. We have to get there. I think we have to get there eventually.
I mean, I'm not. I mean, I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it.
Yeah. It's like I said, we know that we know they're there. I mean, and it's amazing to me that we can have this conversation and be so nonchalant about it. Like even talking to dead people. We're so nonchalant about it. Like, oh yeah, I have a bunch of EVPs. I got a bunch of recordings of people who died 100 years ago. Yeah. But it's so ingrained in us now. It's like, oh yeah, aliens are here. If I was having a conversation, I was even like the 1980s or even the 1990s, I think it would be a lot more like, oh my God. It's still really cool. I'm actually kind of surprised at how like, and maybe again, it's the whole social media thing where it's, nothing surprising anymore to people.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's kind of funny because we're talking about aliens, and every time we get an earthquake, everyone looks in the sky instead of looking down below. Because we all know that we've been visited every time we get an earthquake in Japan. And I'm wondering if they're studying us about the seismic activity and what there is in the sky. And every time we get an earthquake, they're always hovering over our nuclear power plants. Yeah. And it's, just the other day, I think I was talking to my friend, and it was in October, and I heard a whole bunch of, it was at nighttime, it was 8 o'clock, and all the commercial airplanes leave at 5:30. They come in at 4 and they leave at 5:30. And it was 8 o'clock, and I was hearing all these helicopters. And I don't live very far from the airport, and I don't live very far from the military bases, right? Because you always see a military helicopters flying in and out of Tokyo. And one time I thought, gee, that's noisy. And I was talking to my friend. We were on Messenger. We were talking, and I said, hold on a second. Let me look outside. And I said, oh my God. And she goes, what? And I turned the camera on, and I said, holy shit, do you see what I see? She goes, yeah. It was really weird because a commercial airplane has certain types of lights. This thing was a triangle in the sky, and it was really weird. And you could see the landing lights, and I've seen so many airplanes fly in and out. I know what it looks like. I know what the lights are. I said, "Shit, that's no, that's no commercial airplane." She goes, "You're right, it isn't. That's weird." And I go, "Yeah," and it was hovering in the sky, and there was four of them, and they were flying in a bigger triangle. And I said, ooh, oh, oh, oh. And I said, I can't play video on my messenger. And I said, I don't know what to do. And she goes, yeah, you're right. And she goes, be careful, because I was standing on my balcony on the second floor. My second floor is my living room. And I was looking outside. I said, oh, that's really weird. And she goes, yeah, be careful. I said, I am. And all of a sudden, it flew. It wasn't, airplanes cannot go this way and cannot all of a sudden go that way and go up in the sky again. I go, ooh, that was freaky. And he goes, yeah, you're right. It was freaky. And that was the first time I saw that. And I said, I'm still scratching myself. I said, what the heck did I see? And Japan is known for a lot of paranormal and UFO activity, because everyone accepts it. And it's just really weird. And I said, boy, that was weird. And she said, yeah, you gonna tell anybody? Nope. I'm not gonna tell anybody. But you know what? I can tell you here,
Mm-hmm.
because it's one of those weird things you can't get out of your head and you'll never forget.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we see things, and I think it takes a minute for our minds to catch up to what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Like you become like, even if you see like a full body apparition on an investigation, you're like, you see it, and you're like, did I see what I think I just saw? Every time you realize what you're seeing, it's already happened. You're like, oh
That's where
shit.
that
I just
double
saw.
take. That's where that double take comes in. At you're like, what the
Yeah,
hell
It
was that?
it
yeah,
comes out of the corner of your eye. Sometimes you look this way and you go, what? And you look back and go, what the heck did I see, right? It's never in full view. It's always at the corner of your eye.
oh yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And when I do certain things, it's not that they're standing in front of me. It's like I'm seeing in a different point of view. Like in my head, I can see what they're wearing. I can see how they have their hair. I can see what clothes they're wearing. I can see the color of it, but I can't. It's not like when I'm looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's 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 either off to the side where I'm doing this way. I've done that during a podcast where I'm looking outside. I go, huh, 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 and then they come into me and they go, and they're sitting right here and they're talking to me. I go, ooh, okay, and then I have to go back and I have to tell what I saw, but I can't make you see what I see, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And
for you to see.
and
Yeah.
it is it my responsibility to make you see what I see? No. Will you believe me? Do I care? I don't. D- Should I make you see what I see? I don't know.
I mean, but you can't make someone see what you see. Either
I
you can
know.
describe it, or,
Yeah,
but you know, again, if it's all about belief, you
yeah,
know, if you say you're seeing someone sitting next to you right now, I will believe you
yeah,
because I have no reason not to.
yeah. And I would know,
Yeah,
and
I don't.
I would never lie about that either, because
Yeah,
it's something that I do. This is what I do, right? And if you don't believe me, that's fine too. Then you don't have to believe me, right? But it's not my responsibility to make you believe what I see. If you don't believe me, does that make sense?
yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not your responsibility to make someone believe that what you're seeing, because you can't make people see what you're seeing. Not,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people who tell me that they see things and maybe they don't really see it. But who am I
Yeah.
to say they don't see it? I don't know.
Right.
I believe you, but why would I be like, oh, I don't believe her?
Hmm.
You know, it does because it doesn't change anything for me. If you say you see someone, great, you see someone.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Man, couple more questions,
Exactly, Christy.
and we're gonna get you out of here. How do you listen to Bill Carson?
Bill Carson?
Yeah, Billy Carson.
No, I don't know who he is.
Interesting. He's uh he's a very interesting guy. He's the one that if you get a chance, look him up on YouTube. His name is
I'm writing his
Billy
name
Carson.
down now. Billy Carson.
Yeah, he's into ufology and he does a lot of ancient history. And he's the one that brought up this whole Anunnaki situation, which he's not the one, but he dabbles into that. I think more than anybody else. Uh, and the reason why I'm asking is I was going to ask if you knew him, do you believe in some of his theories that he's putting out to the world about these beings that were here millions of years ago and how they
I have heard of the Anunnaki before. I would listen to a podcast called the Y Files,
Mhm.
and they've done a show on the Anunnaki, but I don't have enough of an education on it to really have an opinion on it. So I'm about to.
Yes,
I think again, I'm in the anything's possible camp.
yeah. He was on the Joe Rogan's podcast, and I think when him and Joe sat down, and I think at that point, I think Joe was really a non-believer at that time. So I think what they sat down and talked, I think it really opened Joe's eyes about certain things. We all know what kind of man Joe Rogan is, but I think he's a believer now. Well, I
Earth has
think he's still open for that.
Earth has changed so much through the civilizations and through
Yeah.
time and stuff like that. I think anything is possible.
Hmm.
Because we don't know for sure. So why not?
Yeah,
Hmm.
why not? But here's the thing: it's turning religion upside down. It really is. The religious individuals are scrambling just to cover their own asses now because of what they have not, telling us, and what some of the things that we're finding out, kind of a little damper into certain people's beliefs and into the religion aspect of it. You know, it's
Well, yeah,
it
they want to keep us
definitely
in that
opened my
box.
eyes. What's
They
that?
want they wanted to keep us. They wanted to keep us in that box.
Yeah.
Again, don't look over here.
Hmm.
You listen to what we have to say.
Hmm.
So all that other stuff, that's blasphemy. That's
Yeah.
terrible. Don't listen to that. If you want to be go to heaven, you want it to reach this other place, you have to listen to what we say.
Yeah.
And people who are having, and again, I'm not poo-pooing religion. I believe in certain things,
Hmm.
Mhm.
but I'm also open-minded too. And I believe again, God gave us free thought. They gave us, to figure stuff out. Whatever you believe in is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
I am
free
very
will.
open-minded when it comes to stuff like that. That's why I love doing my show, talking about this stuff and learning from all
Yeah.
our guests, learning about opening meditation, learning about spirituality, learning about.
Mm-hmm.
I got friends who say they visited the Akashic records and the tarot card. We had a friend had tarot card readings, learning about numerology, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is fascinating to me. In astrology, all that stuff. It's just we're all here on this earth to learn and to be a part of each other's lives. We're all here for a reason. The people who choose not to, that's their choice. But that is, I think they're really missing out, or to choose and believing in just one thing and not being open-minded to other people's opinions, and be like, okay, well, yeah, this I want to hear about what you have to say, and learning about each other's beliefs and stuff like that. I think it does people a big disservice to not try to learn everything you can while you're here.
Yeah, I think I was kind of like discouraged about going to church anymore, so I don't. And that's why I think I go back to my temple, and that was created by aliens too, who told the people to make this temple on on a mountain, right? It's on a mountain, okay. So that's why I go back to that, and I go there to get cleansed. It's also haunted too, the area, but they make temples to appease the gods who have passed away, the people who have passed away, so so they won't become more haunted, so they won't haunt the place even more. But and it doesn't work. It's still friggin' haunted. But I think I changed and I go back to Buddhism again because I think I got discouraged too many times being Catholic, and I don't want to be in that that cage anymore. And yeah, I don't know if you don't like it, too bad. If you're religious, too bad. But I think it's made me more aware of myself, more in tune spiritually because I do that. And you know, if you have to really be in my shoes to understand what it is, and why I've changed my position a lot more, because I can go either left or right, and I don't have to choose. I can
Yeah.
be me. I can be me. And I go every 6 months to get cleanse because the stuff that I do can be really daunting and be really dark too. And that's the stuff that I also do. That's why I have to go every 6 months to get cleansed, because it becomes heavy. It just weighs so much on your shoulders and in your head and everywhere else that ugh, like it becomes way too much for me. And so
Yeah.
that's why I have to do that. And I even told Terry that, oh gosh, I have to go and get cleansed. I can't do this. And I don't go to church anymore, but I go there now, and it works. It works for me. Everyone has a way what works for their own bodies, or their own spiritual point of view. So I think instead of having to go to confession, or going to mass, I'd rather go to a temple and just cleanse myself and get rid of whatever I have that's on me, and to come out whole again.
Yeah, I mean, why do you have to go to a certain building or like a church to uh communicate with a higher power?
Hmm.
You could do that outside. If the whole world is the church or the temple or whatever, you go outside, you experience life.
Hmm.
You can talk to whoever your your higher power is, or if you're gods, more than one, you can talk to them. All you have to do is open yourself up to that and ask and talk. It doesn't matter where you are.
And you and nobody tells you that you shouldn't be doing this or you shouldn't be doing that. Like, I've been told you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. But
I mean, there's certain things like,
yeah.
okay, don't kill people. That's okay. Well, good. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
I don't need to be told not to do that.
Yeah. But like, don't talk to spirits, right? As I've heard many parishioners say that you shouldn't be doing that. And
Exactly,
I said,
Christy.
why not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? Like, why can't I? Like, who says I can't do it, right?
Maybe because they don't want you to know that there is something else out there, or a different path to getting to the other side.
Yeah. And there are certain things that I do know that I cannot tell Terry, and he gets pissed off at me because I can't tell him.
We're gonna let that one go.
But you see, there are things that you will learn as life progresses, or when the time comes, you will learn. But I can't tell you now.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil it for him. He's like telling to the end of a movie.
Yeah,
you have to experience for yourself.
Yeah, and
I'll tell it.
Nah, you see, that's where we are. That's where we argue all the time because he wants to know. I said, "No, I'm sorry, I can't tell you." He goes, "Why can't you?" I goes, "Because I can't. Because it's not your time to know about certain things. In your time, you will learn, but not now because I cannot share this with you." He says, Why can't you? And who says that you can't? Because you can't. That's why."
Shoot, yeah. The universe tells me not to tell someone something. I'm gonna listen to the universe and not tell them. I'm not gonna go against that kind of stuff.
See, Terry. See.
Don't mess with the universe.
See, Terry.
Well,
See, I'm not the only one.
Universe, but is the universe all knowing and all seeing? No. So who's to say that one? Who's to say? See, the thing about this universe is it's giving itself up slowly but surely. I mean, never give up all its secrets, but every now and then it might drop one or two, maybe 3 or 4 at you. Just to let you know that, hey, I got this under control. So,
but it makes you think. Like, we talk about the universe as in like God. Like talking like about the universe like it's a person, or and it's weird how we just talk. How we talk about it like it's like this all-knowing thing. Like, what we're talking about the galaxy, talking about, it's like, what is it?
That's a big question. I'm gonna have to go ask some of those guys on Stargate exactly what it is. I have no clue, but I know. But you can't have one without the other. You can't have a galaxy without the universe.
Yeah,
I mean, all of that's entwined with each other. So,
but I see universe like it's a sentient. I guess it's a sentient being.
Yeah, like what is that guy? What is that planet eater guy that's on? What is? I can't remember that movie.
Would Ego from Guardians of the Galaxy?
No. He is an eternal. He's an eternal.
Oh, okay. Actually, yeah. Well, Galactus.
Galactus, and there's some other ones out there that build. I mean, that makes planets and universes and stuff like that. Is it Galactus?
Well, maybe people they'd rather see the universe than say God. Maybe that's what they believe. Like, okay, again, that's fine.
I mean, I'm cool with it either way because
The universe is our creator. Humans are cosmic being. Yeah. I mean, again, that's
it's interesting. But guys, we're going on here an hour and 39 minutes. Man, great topic, great conversation, great feedback. Hey, I really appreciate you, Ryan, joining us. Maybe one or two more questions, and we're going to get you out of here. Irene, go ahead.
Okay, Ryan. If I had the chance to say, okay, Ryan, come here, would you?
For Japan, heck yeah. My son loves Japan. That's like his favorite place. So like I want to go to Japan. So yeah, I would definitely go and visit and maybe try to go to some haunted schools with you or something.
We got it. I don't know about that one. If you had the choice to go anywhere else, would you go?
Anywhere else as far as like where?
The world.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to explore and go different places.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to go to Transylvania, go to Dracula's castle. I'd love to go to the Winchester Mystery House, and there are lots of different locations I would love to visit.
Okay. I mean, I would too. I mean, I would definitely like to go to Normandy, go to France, go to Normandy Beach, just to see what that's about. You know, and they just all I want to do is just put a camera up there and just let it go. See what would I pick up? Because I know that place has got hell. It might be intelligent, it might be residual, but I can tell you that that place has got something on.
I will say this: if you ever get a chance, come visit the cabin on 360 in Mechanicsville, Virginia. We have two houses, the cabin and the Brick Rancher. Brick Rancher, there was a young girl who was shot and killed by her 17-year-old stepbrother.
Wow.
Raped her, and it's also the site of a Civil War battle, the Battle of Bethesda Church. And I tell you what, this place is one of the most active locations I have ever been to. Probably one of the most active locations in the state of Virginia, or even on the east, or the entire country. There, we have had full body apparitions. I've heard drumming. I've heard EVPs. I've seen a full body apparition while I was there. There's so much history on the land. They were, people have seen shadow figures. I've seen investigators who have been doing this for like 20 years fall down to the ground crying because of what they experienced in the Brick Rancher and on the property. If you're not a believer in the paranormal, come to the cabin on 360 and you will become a believer. And I got a picture of a creature. Someone got a picture of this little, like, almost looks like Dobby the house elf from Harry Potter, and caught in the basement in the Brick Rancher. In the Brick Rancher itself, that's like where all the dark stuff happens. People have become like extremely angry for no reason. There have been just account after account after account of people experiencing like just weird stuff out there. And it's a smaller location, and the smaller locations like the cabin and places that aren't Trans-Allegheny and Waverly Hills and places that have been on TV a lot, they need help too. They need people to come out and support them, because otherwise there'll only be the big locations that cost like $1,000 to investigate.
What do you think about
So
that?
Exactly.
What do you think about that, Ryan? What do you think about places that charge a lot of money, and then there's other places that are just as haunted or just as got as much spirits in them as the big places are, and they're not being recognized?
I think it, I think it costs a lot of money to keep a place open. So I know it costs a lot of money to keep the cabin open. I know because you got bills and stuff like that. And it, if someone's willing to pay a lot of money to come out to your location, then who am I to say you can't charge that amount of money? I think it maybe prevents people, some like teams, from going out to these places. That's why we try to keep the cabin a pretty fair price, pretty cheap price compared to the other locations. I think a lot of times people go to these locations like again, Waverly Hills, the Penn, Ohio State Reformatory, for the experience of going to the locations, because you can't guarantee activity,
No.
Right.
so you're going for the experience. And if you get something, that's great. But I can get EVP of someone saying hi or hello or sighing or do whatever for $400 at the cabin on 360, or I could pay $1,200 to get it done at another location. So I mean, if you want to, and again, we're trying to get to that where it's an experience to come out to the cabin on 360. I'd rather go someplace where I could, pay cheaper and get more stuff and get more bang for my buck.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm not, again, I think it's cool to have those experiences too, and go to these places and experience all paranormal locations.
Yeah. The funny thing about here, you only have to pay $5 to see something, or if you really want to see something, just go outside my front door.
Yeah, say just walk out the door. I
Yeah,
mean, I've got EVPs walking across the front yard at the
yeah,
cabin,
yeah,
or
and
going into the woods.
yeah, you don't have to pay much to play, and on the other side, looking on the other side of the coin, nobody wants to go to these haunted places here, so they're all free to go.
Well,
They're just fenced in, but you just have, the fence is open, so you can just walk through and see these places. But it's a shame because certain places don't get the recognition that they should be getting, and you can get just as much activity in this little place than you can in the big
mhm.
places, right? and
Yeah.
and I think everyone should be supported, and I think these little places should have the same support as the big places, but it's not a big name. That's why I think they don't get that. Oh, we gotta go to Waverly Hills. Yeah, it's well known and it's really haunted, but um I think it's overrated. I think I think there are many other places all over the world that you can visit that have just as much activities in a pub in England, or a house on the street in West Virginia, or a house in Texas, or a house in Japan. I wouldn't go to one in Japan, let's put it that way. Yeah. But um I think they deserve just as much recognition as a big place.
Yeah. I
And
think everyone should have their, like, if I think every location should, I guess, be treated the same.
yeah.
I think with a lot of places like Waverly Hills, Hinsdale, they're all great locations,
Hmm.
but they were also on TV. So people look at those places, uh they have more reverence for those places because they knew about him watching Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and stuff like that, and trying to. There are a lot of really good paranormal locations that aren't getting the recognition they should because people are automatically just going to the more well-known places. Again, I'm not trying to say don't go to these places, but also realize that there are more than there are also all these smaller locations that we are.
And I think that the spirits in those big locations sometimes really don't want to interact with. Okay, here's another Joe Blogan. Oh gosh, yeah, not doing it this time. Well, I'm gonna take a break, and that's why you'll never hear anything big happening out of some of the big places. They said, "Well, yeah, it's done. We're good." Like, I'm not gonna go back there anymore. And I think they get exhausted as a spirit, having to talk to this dumbbell who's got this EVP recorder and trying to get information and trying to get a zing out of you because you're a spirit and because I'm here to investigate you, like, and asking the same old dumb questions. Like, okay, yeah, we're done. We're not gonna do this, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think spirits were people once, so we get tired of talking to people too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had people go to the bigger locations and say they get good stuff. So, it really depends on the time you go, or maybe the group or the energy you guys people bring to the location as well. But
It's horrible. That's why I like the small locations.
Yeah.
I've never done the big ones. I always like the small ones. Ryan, man, it has been a pleasure speaking with you. Tell the world how to get a hold of you, brother.
I am Ryan C. Jones on Facebook. You can follow me there. In TikTok, the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show. We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. The Cabin on 360. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Check out the Cabin on 360 on TikTok. We have a bunch of evidence we've captured out there. We have again, our Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show is on every Tuesday night, 9:00 p.m. on the Rift Nation Network. And check out the Freaking Awesome Paranormal Show TikTok. We have clips from the show and stuff like that. We always have a good time. Irene knows, she's a big fan. She watches us on Tuesday nights. And I am on the What's Going Down podcast with Howie, Odell, Ed, every third Wednesday of the month at 11 o'clock in the morning. We talk about paranormal news, stuff like that. And the second Sunday of every month, I'm on the Freaking Awesome playlist where we listen to a bunch of music on YouTube, and we pick a subject and we make a playlist for that subject, and we just listen to great music and stuff. So, I'm all over the place, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Let me come on. So I'm used to being the host. Thank you so much for letting me come on.
I think we should have Ed. I think we should coax Ed to come on, and both of you come on together again.
Oh my god, it would be insane. When Howie and I get I'm known as Howie. I've known him for a long time. It's always been Howie to me. It's hard for me to call him Ed, which I never will. I never will call him Ed. He's always Howie to me. But
I think we need to have him. Guy. I think we need to pull him back.
Yeah, we got a day when he's not working, and we'll figure it out. Because he is such a wealth of knowledge. He is great.
Yeah, I think so too.
To meet him. One quick question. You mentioned TikTok. Are you guys streaming live on TikTok? How are you guys doing that?
I do the Tuesday night show through Restream, and I connected my Restream to TikTok. So Tuesday night it automatically streams live on my TikTok. On Thursday I just do straight TikTok. I do a TikTok live, and I invite a guest, and they'll come on, and I'll add them to the stream.
Are you doing that through your phone or through your computer?
Through my phone. I mean, Restream is Restream is through the computer. Thursday I do it through the phone because TikTok does not like when I use the computer. It is just, and I think it's meant to be a phone app, so I think they like it better when you use the phone. So when it's straight TikTok Live, I'll do it through my phone, and then on Tuesdays I'll set the show up. I'll send the link out to people, and then the show automatically broadcasts to YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch,
Right.
Rumble, all those places.
Because I am trying to do that with StreamYard, but I'm having a hard time finding my RTMP and my streaming key. I don't know. It's been weird to me.
Yeah, I had a hard time trying to get my show to go live on Instagram because I had to do stream key and that stuff. I just gave up. I'm like, you know what? I'm whatever. So, but I had to go on TikTok and connected and get approved, and finally I don't know how it worked out, but it finally worked out. So now I'm able to stream on both TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff.
I'm definitely trying to reach those audience on TikTok. I'm having a hard time to do that right now, but man, we'll figure that out as time goes. Because I got the amount of views now, and I'm above 18, and we should be good to go. But yeah, I'm having difficulties. But anyway, Mr. Jones, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. I hope I didn't frustrate you too much.
No, it was fun. I enjoyed the conversation.
You know, that's just some of the things I like to get into. Other than that, Irene swears I'll stick my finger in the light sockets when I do ask very specific questions. And yeah.
And he gets into trouble. He gets into trouble. And it hasn't been more than once when I had to bail him out of that one.
Look, man, if I don't ask questions, I will never know.
Yeah, so we're here we're having a conversation. That's we're here. That's what we're here for. If you don't want to talk, then don't come on the podcast.
Trouble, but because he gets into trouble all the time, right? And I think, oh, here we go again. Like I said, you're gonna go down that rabbit hole.
Hey, you know, rabbit holes are meant to go down.
Yeah, life wouldn't be fun if we didn't go down rabbit holes. If we just talked about the same things over and over again. So, but I'm gonna go because I gotta take my dog out. She's been whining for the past 45 minutes. So, and I gotta unload my car. So,
better get done. All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. Tell Ed I say, hey, I'm waiting on him. And guys, let's do this again. I would love to come on your show, but it's on Tuesdays. And I'm usually
can we come on TikTok?
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I'm open for TikTok. I'm open.
We'll figure something out. We'll have we can do it. Like you said, we're on TikTok live at 9:00 on Thursday, so we can figure it out.
All right, guys. Hey, go ahead, Irene. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, thank you, Ryan, for coming on. And I hope I didn't twist your arm too much.
No, you're good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Irene, for watching the show on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Really appreciate you so much.
Well, I want to support my friends, okay? And I've always supported you. And I think it's very important for all of us to keep in touch. I remember I met you in the other podcast, but since I'm doing this one with this one, I wanted you to come on here because I wanted to show people that I'm still doing it, and I'm still supporting it, and I'm still here and I'm still talking to you, and I think we'll always be around for a long time.
Yeah, we'll always support each other, and that's what it's all about. Going out there and supporting each other, and being one big paranormal family.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree with that. Even though y'all don't like those dumb steaks, I'm disappointed in that. But we'll figure that.
Yeah,
out.
well, I'm glad you can see past that. And
Yeah, just a
that's
little
so big
bit.
of you.
Just a little bit.
That's so big of you. So
And then I still have to get the sushi too.
all right, guys, you
And
guys have a good night.
You guys enjoy the see you night. This is TV paranormal. Peace. See you guys tomorrow night. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
It froze up again. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. And your mic kept on going on and off. You noticed that, right?
Yeah, I wonder who was that.
V4
Vendetta Beats Production.